what's going on, everybody? This is Brant with CPC Bodybuilding, the home of men's classic physique. Today, got a real treat for you guys. Got a preview of the UK Pro, the One Bro UK Pro, which also features the Ben Weider Pro Qualifier. My special guest to preview this show is IFBB Classic Pro Llewy Davies. Llewy, thanks for joining the show, man.
My absolute pleasure. And you can say that title because I'm a new pro. You can say that as many times as you want throughout this whole video, my friend.
Every time I say your name.
Please.
Yeah. So, before we get into the preview, I want to make sure everyone can find Llewy here on social media. So here we've got Llewy's Instagram. So here you can find him at Llewy Davies Official here. Llewy is also a psychologist and offers a very fascinating perspective on bodybuilding, as well as just thinking around bodybuilding too. So a very interesting guy, a great personality too. So I would highly recommend giving Llewy a follow here. So that's where you can find him. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the lineup for the One Bro UK Pro. A very short lineup, just 6 guys, but lots of quality athletes here. So we have Luigi Maria de Robertis out of Italy, Daniel Dudley from Panama, Josh Eastham from the UK, Dylan Karepins out of Latvia, Craig Morton from the UK, and Emmanuel Rigotti out of Italy. Lots of talent, like I said. And we will start out with Luigi de Robertis. So he tied for 10th at the Chiru Classic Italy, which was his last appearance. These are some stage photos that he's posted just of that last appearance. Llewy, when you look at his physique, what are some things that stand out to you?
In all honesty, he has a beautiful frame. With everybody in Classic, they pride themselves on coming in spectacular condition. I haven't seen him doing any free-flowing posing. However, based on his structure, he has everything there. However, like you'll probably amplify, he could be more detailed through his midsection and a bit drier in the quads. It looks like there's a fine layer of water. However, structurally, the delts are there, the pecs are there. He looks incredible, but can he nail his condition come the day? That's what I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you. I was hoping to find a posing video, but I don't know if he's posted any footage of that. But,
I think he won the Amateur Olympia to become pro.
Yeah, I think so too. This was, the Amateur Olympia Spain.
I've done that show twice.
Yeah, a very prestigious show in Europe, as many of you know. Definitely brings out the best amateurs and pros in Europe. I would say my critique probably comes here, and that's I would say he probably just needs more mass, particularly in the lower half and the posterior. But I agree with Llewy. I think he has spectacular structure. Just probably needs a little bit more muscle, and he very well could have put that on in the year that he had off. So,
and I think as well, Brent, the beautiful thing about Classic is you can grow into the division doing it the correct way, healthy. You haven't got to consume ridiculous amounts of food and the rest of the stuff that goes with bodybuilding. You can actually make significant progress healthily and change in a very short space of time. So God willing, he comes in a little bit bigger and a little bit drier, and he gives you some eye candy to watch in a day.
Absolutely. So that is Luigi Robertis out of Italy. Our next competitor is Daniel Dudley. So he last appeared at the Bogota Pro last year, where he took 11th place. And I believe this is his 3rd pro show. I really like his structure. Llewy, from this front double and this back double, what are some things that stand out to you?
Look at his upper back. The detail around the rhomboids, rear delts, a trapezius, big, thick arms, absolutely incredible. When you have such an impressive upper body, you need to become hell-bent on having a bottom half that absolutely matches that. Because otherwise you're like one of those amazing ladies in a buxom top with no bum. It don't work.
But those ladies don't get striated glutes either.
The ladies don't get the attention they want either.
I really like his structure, though. I think he's got superb structure. My one critique, I just think he needs more chest.
More
That's
chest.
probably.
How
But
old is
his
he here?
arms are
Because he looks like he could be older.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't see anything indicating what his age might be, but very well could be. He is a recent pro. He turned pro just about 2 years ago. So
Incredible. I think good size. And again, at these shows, when you go there in person, this show's actually only an hour and a half away from myself and my fiance Carly's house. So we may actually travel. The one thing I now know to be true from watching people on Instagram to seeing them in the flesh, a still picture versus a moving physique can create a completely different illusion. And these people nail shots for Instagram with all the angles, but their transitions, they can get loose during the transition. So I'll be so interested to see how these guys hold themselves for the static shots, but also how they flow. Can they keep everything tight to give us like a true image of the condition that they're really in?
yeah, you make a very good point. And I think one of those guys who does that very well is this guy, Josh Eastham, out of the United Kingdom. I think he's probably one of the best up and coming guys out of the UK. Just finished his Arnold Classic UK debut. Here are some of the stage shots. Louis, what do you think about Josh's physique?
I was there in person. I was at this show and I thought he looked absolutely incredible. His prep coach is a guy called Darren Farrell. He's one of the most integral prep coaches to come out of the UK. He was with Josh when he turned pro. I think he then went on to win his pro show to qualify for the Olympia. So this guy's a massive inspiration even to me. What he's doing in such a short space of time is phenomenal. To think he competed next to Brion, Vissers, all the big names, he held himself like a champion. And I was actually on his stories having a sneak preview to see if he needed any of my psychological help in the build-up. But he seemed completely and utterly on point. He was confident, he was with his partner, he was giving her lots of love, and he was with his little child as well. So from what I see, he's a family man. He does it for all the correct reasons, and I wish this guy all the best. But the potential is unwarranted, incredible.
Absolutely. I think he has great detail, great classic structure, and just very balanced. I think that's one thing that stands out to me is you always look for balance and proportion in classic physique, and he has that. And really, what I think his future holds is great things as he continues to build muscle. With more size, I think he will be very, very hard to beat here in classic physique.
100%. He reminds me, this is a bit of a long shot, just based on this picture you've got up now on his left quad, the one out there. He's got legs like Bumstead, just a smaller version. He's got that same kind of structure.
Yeah, the insertions look very, very similar. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Josh's. And like you said, won his pro debut, went straight to the Olympia. So he won his pro card, did his pro debut the next day, and then went to the Olympia that same year, which is something you don't see.
You know, with people like him, Brant, people like him, a lot of bodybuilders can learn from, because it's a common trait that people win their pro card and they see it as an opportunity to have a 48-month or a 24-month off season to grow into the class. You've got to remember it's the biggest accolade of your life. And in order to be recognized as a good pro, sometimes you may take three seventh places to get known and get used to being a pro. It doesn't matter where you place initially. You've got to get into the circuit, be seen, be heard, and get emotionally adapted to it. And that's what he done. So I respect this guy massively. Never met him, but I would love to shake his hand.
Yeah. So that is Josh Eastham out of the UK. Next up, we have Delans Kurepins. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, but I think his physique is so impressive. He's from Latvia, so he turned pro at the Poland Pro Qualifier in 2022. So he's taken some time to build some size, and I'm very impressed with his level of detail as a rookie. Louis, when we look at this latest update, so this was 4 days ago, so this would have been roughly a week out. What are some things that stand out to you?
So then, full transparency as always, this guy is my actual favourite. And he's my
Really?
favourite because he's dry as a bone. He has absolutely everything in the correct place. And he poses, look at them two shots there, the front relaxed and the rear, absolutely impeccable. For me, structurally, how he's put together and how he holds himself, that's a statue of perfection to me, that is. The insertions in his quads, the nice long midsection, the capped out. I would add a smile to the picture, Llewy Davies style, but he'll get there.
Yeah, you make a great point, man. The structure is absolutely there. I
Look at
think
that.
really what it's going to come down to in this show is, can he hold his own in terms of muscularity?
But do you know as well, Brad, I always think to myself, that is such a well put together package. If there's people a lot bigger than you, I'm never the biggest person on stage, but I always say to myself before I compete, outperform the bigger guy so the judges are forced to look. So if he brings some swagger and some true stage presence, people could look at the bigger guy and ultimately say, that guy's got more muscle, but this guy's a better professional. And then you kind of even things out a little.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna get to some of those bigger guys here in a second, but he's definitely gonna have his hands full with some of these guys, so he's gonna have to bring a hell of a performance, I think.
100%, yeah.
And one of those guys I was alluding to is one of the best classic physique competitors in all of Europe right now. That's Craig Morton, and he's out of the UK. This is from his most recent appearance at the Muscle Contest Austria Pro, where he finished second to Michael de Boel, who, as many of you know, is sixth in the world as of right now, and is one of the most accomplished classic physique bodybuilders out there. So Craig definitely is in good company, and I think is going to be in the mix for one of those top spots. Louis, when you look at Craig's physique, what are some of his strengths?
Well, he has absolutely everything. He has the wow factor. We have the same coach. And I don't think people are aware that this guy's about 6'3" or 6'4". He's not small. He's an absolute monster. The one thing I'll be really intrigued to see again is performance, because if he brings swagger to stage looking like an Adonis, he's basically Aquaman of bodybuilding. If he brings the correct swagger to stage, he has the ability to make people leave in awe. He would win the show hands down based on his look alone. But if he brings the performance on that day, no one will beat him. No one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think his silhouette, he has that silhouette that you look for, and everything about him is classic. I've been very impressed by Craig in recent
And he
outings.
has all the muscle.
hmm
All the muscle.
So that is Craig Morton out of the UK, and our final competitor is Italian IFBB Pro 2022 Olympian Emanuele Rigotti, who just recently competed at the Arnold Classic Ohio and the Arnold Classic UK, placing, I believe, sixth at the Arnold Classic UK and seventh at the Arnold Classic Ohio. Here's him with one of the goats of classic physique, Breon Ansley. So I love this front double. What do you think of Emmanuel?
I've been onto his Instagram. I made my little notes and done my research. This guy is diced. There's no muscle on his physique that isn't there. I said to Kylie, look at this physique, absolutely incredible. And we both came to the agreement, a little bit more tissue everywhere, and he's as good as done. That's all he needs. And again, you can't rush that in bodybuilding. That's just a time thing and a process thing. But everything is absolutely there. He poses impeccably well. Again, it's just size that's needed.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I will say I do think there's probably one pose that he's vulnerable in, and
Yeah.
that's the back double bicep. I think he probably needs a little bit more muscle, particularly through the traps and the rhomboids. But he has the width, which is something you can't teach width. He has the
No,
wide
you can't.
clavicles, he has the structure, and the muscle maturity and the size will come with time because
I would
he's a
compare
very
him
young
to
guy
Josh.
too. Yeah, him and Josh is an interesting comparison, I think. Um, I think, he did beat Josh at the Arnold UK, but if judges were to split that decision, if someone were to pick Josh over him, I could also see that too because Josh beats him in the back shots, and I think the front and the side shots are relatively close. So I would probably give the edge to
Yeah.
Emmanuel, but it'll certainly be an interesting comparison between the two of them.
I'll send you a
So
message
that is
personally when I'm there because I'm attending it.
Oh, perfect, man. Yeah, so we'll get some good thoughts from Llewy at the show. Um, Unsure if there will be a live stream, but I would love to see the live stream too. Catch that one in
Yeah.
the morning over here. So that is the entirety of our lineup for the One Bro UK Pro. So Llewy and I are going to give our picks. So as the special guest, Llewy, would you like to pick your first call out and winner first, or would you like me to go first?
I'm an absolute gentleman, so please go first. You're the host.
All right, my man. So my first call out, I think this is going to be a little obscure since we have a 6-man lineup, and pending any additions or dropouts, I don't know if things will change, but I see a clear grouping of 4 and 2 here. So I think
Okay.
it may be a little flip flop from what we typically see. I think we may actually see a 3 or 4-man first call out here. I'm just going to pick the 4 that I think are most comparable and go with that as my first call out. I think it's a pretty clear top 4, which is going to be Josh, Delons, Craig, and Emmanuel. I think those are the clear top 4 here. And I'm intrigued to see, especially the comparison between Josh and Emmanuel, because I think those guys, though they've competed with each other recently, I think they stack up very, very well with one another. So that will be interesting to see. But I think there's a high ceiling for Delons here. You alluded to it. He has tremendous detail, just very put together. Um, he knows how to pose properly. I'll be intrigued to see what he looks like size-wise next to some of these other guys. But my pick to win the show is going to be Craig. I think Craig is the most proven on a pro stage here. He has the most size. He doesn't have any lagging body parts. He's very balanced and proportionate. And I would be very surprised if someone came in here and beat him. It's not impossible, but I think Craig, if he shows up at 95%, the show is his regardless. So Craig Morton is my pick to win this show.
In regards to the top 4, I second and agree with everything you said 100%. I believe first place is a shut down show because there's no one to compare Craig Morton against whatsoever. He's an absolute monster. He walks out and stands out and wins well. Second place, I'm going with how do I pronounce his name? Dylan's, that guy, the guy who I think has got an impeccable physique. I believe he places second, but more importantly, regardless of winning or placing second, he gets all of the attention for the potential that he can gain over the next 12, 24 months. And as an athlete, one thing I'd like to say to people that get to see this video, some people are caught up on placings and qualifications, but they're at the peak of their physical ability. Because you get young guys like this guy who will play second at the show, come through, and his potential may be far greater than the person that wins. Not necessarily in this instance, but in a lot of shows. So as we watch, we can always learn. Never feel sorry for someone that comes second or third, because quite often they go on to win an awful lot as a result of experiencing that.
Yeah, that's a very great perspective, I think, Louis. Definitely could be a very big opportunity for Delons to seize here. And I think he will. I think he certainly will.
Got to rise to the occasion in life, man.
Yeah, and when you're that talented, yeah, I think it translates from Instagram to the stage. That's ultimately a good question too. Is does it translate? And I think it will. I certainly think it will.
Me too.
So that is our picks for the One Bro UK Pro in men's classic physique. Before we get out of here, again, I want to give a huge shout out to my guest, Llewy. Make sure you guys go give him a follow here on Instagram and keep up with him. Llewy is, again, a very interesting guy, a very eccentric personality. So I would, again, highly recommend giving Llewy a follow. So before we get out of here, Llewy, do you have anything you would like to say to the people? Any shout outs you want to give?
I want to give a shout out to you. It takes somebody like yourself to come along to make classic bodybuilding more publicized, more accessible, and great again. The perspectives and the personality that you share in your own time. This isn't a paid for job. This is a passion, as we've already underlined before we got on this live video. Please keep doing what you're doing. Don't slow down, regardless of the traction or interaction you get. Your page is fantastic. How you publicize us as well as yourself as athletes is absolutely incredible. So I'm speaking on behalf of everyone that gets to see the video. Mega love and mega respect, bro. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. It's athletes like you who make this worth doing, man.
Means the world. Now I've got to go and win my pro debut in 9 weeks, eh?
Yes, sir. Catch Llewy at the Toronto Pro. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for the preview today. I want to thank you all for watching another video from CPC Bodybuilding. This is Brant, and that's Llewy. Make sure you guys keep it classic. We'll see you later.